Okay, let's try d4. c5, okay. d5 is playable. d5 is probably best, but you have to want that kind of move. I'll play c4. And he might keep the pawn with e5 because that pawn's protected, but he doesn't. Okay, that's fine. Takes. Knight f6. Maybe I play g3, bishop g2, and just castle away. a6. Okay. e4 is playable. e4, bishop e2, castles, or g3. g3, bishop g2, and castles looks kind of nice for white. Bishop g2. He does have d5. Well, I think bishop g2 prevents d5, so queen c7. I could play bishop f4, but I don't think that achieves anything after d6 or even queen c5. And I think next move there's even queen c5, so I'm just going to castle away. And if bishop c5, the queen can go to h4 or even d3. I think we'll put it on h4. Okay. So I'm planning to play bishop f4, and if he ever plays e5, this square becomes weak. So bishop f4, if he plays e5, bishop f4, if he plays e5, I can put the bishop on g5 and then take on f6. So he breaks the pin immediately. Okay. Now this queen is oddly placed on h4, but I don't think that's a good discovery, apart from knight d5. But knight d5 I can just take, knight takes d5. So we'll continue our plan, bishop f4. Well, hang on a second. Bishop f4 hangs the c-pawn. So maybe just rook d1. I'm afraid of these discoveries. The queen is so oddly placed. Let's go back to d3. Admit our mistake and put the bishop and put the queen on d3. Okay. So I get d5 for free now. Bishop g5, take the knight, and then d5 is mine for the rest of the game. You might want to play h6 to prevent bishop g5 and taking the knight. This knight is the only good defender of the d5 square. I mean, this bishop can defend it later, but okay. We're going to take an f6 and plant the knight on d5, and it'll probably sit there for quite some time. d6. I think I should take it now. I don't know if he can prevent. I can take it next move because there's no rush. To take it. I don't think he can defend it. Prevent me from taking it. Oh, he can. Okay, but this loses a piece to knight d5. Knight d5, and he's losing something. Okay, so that's just the end of the game. Well, he has to give the queen for insufficient material. Bishop takes g5. Knight takes queen. Bishop takes c1, and I can take a8. So I don't think you can play that way. But I think he has to give the queen for 2 minor pieces. He got that piece and that piece. And now I can take on d6 if I want. And give this rook for this. But I think simpler is to play either e3 or f4. f4 looks playable. But the bishop goes back to e7. So maybe just e3. Keep things simple. Okay. It also safeguards the d4 square because knight's coming there. Knight 96, knight d4, and this e pawn will prevent knight d4. So he plays like this. It's, you know, white's up a queen for 2 minor pieces, but that does not mean that the conversion is automatic. You still have to just keep playing and playing a lot of moves until black's position crumbles. But it may not happen anytime soon. So knight c5, and then we just keep playing queen c2, queen d2, queen c2. Okay. I think I'm gonna get b4 in. Probably a5 is a good move to bolster the knight on c5, but rook b8 okay. b4 is playable. Okay, then I will go back to e6 or d7. 96, a3. I think I can play. Oh, now I can play c5. I was tempted to play c5. I was trying to play in queen b2 and then c5 and then e5 is tender, but I think with this pin I can play c5 right now, and I don't think he's getting out of this problem. And if he puts the rook on c8, I'll just move the queen to b3. Oh, he hangs a piece. Okay, so that makes it easier now. Bishop's under attack.
Victory.
Okay, good game.